and it should adjust.
I did that the first time. I did it right. Is it on?
Are we going? All right.
Going somewhere. You were not in the video. You were on that side of it.
Is that?
Yep, that's a space.
Are you? Oh, that's okay.
What's what? What you
The
need?
space heater.
Oh, you want it? Here, take it.
Or maybe just for everybody. I don't want it just on me.
I'm turning this on too, but it's going to
Okay.
take a minute. It's going to take a minute to heat up.
Because this half of the room is frozen solid.
All right. Well, here you go.
Are you girls frozen, or do you want to come over here?
Don't ask me.
Okay, you can come on our side then. I can't get warm either. I think there's something wrong with me. I can't get warm.
Did you ever go get your iron checked? I'm not paying.
What was it? There was a comedian, I said a comedian, I should say. And she would say to those people who are cold, eat a biscuit!
Put some meat on it.
You know, the rest of us are so warm because we got too many biscuits. So. Alright guys, I am so sorry. I want my presenter notes, and for whatever reason I can't make this big and still have my presenter notes. So it's going to be little. But you have it from last year. You've got it.
Yep.
And I will airdrop it to you guys or send it to you later. So, the miracle of Hanukkah. Like a lot of Hebrew, you can kind of choose how you spell it. CH, just an H, two N's, one N, KA or KAH. It all works.
That's amazing.
Just what I wanted to hear is myself. It's okay.
No, I asked you to. I'm sorry.
All right, and you'll notice that I have a little icon here for you guys so that you know that when you light the Hanukkah on the first night, we put candles in from the right to the left. Why?
East to the west.
Nope. But it's the top.
The sun sets in this.
Read from right to left.
Read from right to left. Hebrew reads backwards. So we put the candles in from right to left, and then we light them left to right. I know it's confusing.
Nothing wrong with me. I'm just Hebrew.
There you go.
You have Amanda Rose Lyons and Kelly May.
Hi, Kelly.
Can I ask a question?
Ma'am.
Candle?
Yes.
Okay, so you bought me one of those candle menorah things last year, and I have it ready to go. So I put all the candles. Tell me how to do it.
I will tell you how to do it again.
I never did it.
No. I mean
Okay.
again as in this year.
Oh,
I will tell you again. Absolutely. Because I have another one for you too.
Okay, because you gave it to me actually after the holiday. Yes.
Well, you all get one before this
Okay,
year.
so I've been wanting to do it this
Yes,
year, but I
yes.
don't know how to do it.
We will show you. We'll actually go through because I've got examples.
Okay, good.
All right. So the miracle of Hanukkah, and just like always, we are going to open with some liturgy. Join me if you wish. In the Hebrew or in English or don't, whichever makes you feel comfortable. I felt the heat from that, by the way. So, it's warm enough. Alright, so these are the Sabbath candle lights, Shabbat candles, because it is Friday night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadliknu shel Shabbat. you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has commanded us and sanctified us to kindle the lights of the Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shalom, or my family. All right. It's really small though for you guys to see. All right, I'm just going to do it without. All right.
That's good.
All right. The Vishamru, and they shall keep the Sabbath. The people of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath in every generation as a covenant for all time. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel, for in 6 days the Eternal made the heaven and the earth, and on the seventh day God Shabbat, stopped working and rested, and was Vayinafash, refreshed. And the Shema, that way is east, always said, facing east, to be looking for Messiah as he comes over the horizon. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Blessed is his name, is the name of his glorious kingdom, forever and ever. The V'ahavta, and you shall love, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you today shall be upon your heart. You shall teach them thoroughly to your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk on the road, when you lie down and when you rise. You shall bind them as a sign upon your hands, and they shall be for a reminder between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Mi chamocha, who is like you? Mi chamocha, balihim Adonai. Mi chamocha, nedahar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef elei. Nora tehilot osef elei. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Eitz Chaim, the tree of life. It is a tree of life to those who grasp it, and its supporters are happy. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its ways are peace. Turn us, Adonai, to you, and we will return. Renew our days as of old. Adon Olam, the foundation of the world. The Lord of the universe, who reigned before anything was created, he is, and he shall be. No other to compare or join him, without beginning, without end, and to him belongs dominion and power. story of it is in what's the book of what's called the Book of Maccabees. Okay, if you have a Catholic Bible, they consider the Book of Maccabees canon. Okay, Protestants and Jews do not consider it canon. Okay, so not divinely inspired. It is, however, historical for the Protestants and the Jews. Okay, that's the difference. So if you have a Catholic Bible, you will get books that you did not have. In a Protestant Bible, they have a separate book for that. It's called the Apocrypha. And originally it means hidden or concealed. And it got a negative connotation because of that. It's not that it was hidden or concealed, it's just that people, they wanted you to focus on the divine. And then once you understood the divine process and purposes, then you could further on into the historical stuff. It was just a way to not confuse people, which makes complete sense, actually. So it's additional reading. If you look, 24 of the 66 books are determined to be divinely inspired. The numbers differentiate between denominations, between Protestant versus Catholic, Jews number them differently, because there's not a Samuel 1 and 2, there's just Samuel, so they don't divide it up, so you're going to get different numbers. So, but what you look at today, Genesis through Revelation, are considered the canonical books, or divinely inspired, okay? You have to go, like I said, to either an Apocrypha or a Catholic book to get the Book of Maccabees, where you find the story of Hanukkah. So the story, or Megillah in Hebrew. Alexander the Great came to power in 190 BCE. Now, if you remember, BCE, we count our years backwards. Very confusing, because of course when you get to the death of Messiah, then they go forwards. Just the way it works. I didn't decide. Anyway, so in 190 BCE, Alexander the Great is the emperor, okay? And in 175 BCE, remember we're going backwards, the Assyrian Greeks are in control of Israel and Judea and that area, okay? Now, this is 175 years before Christ, okay? If you look at the grand scheme of things, that's not that far before Christ, okay? That's like 3 generations, maybe. And in that day, some of them lived a whole lot longer, others did not. So they came in control. One of the first things they do is pillage the temple. They start outlawing Judaism. They run the Jews out, force them to sell stuff. There were even Jews, in order to assimilate with the Greeks, tried to reverse their circumcisions. Yeah, I don't even want to think about what that would have taken. I just know it's going to be painful. That's all I got to say. Anyway, they destroyed the temple. They destroyed Jerusalem. They outlawed the Judaism. They persecuted the Jews that fought against it. Until the Hasmoneans, or the Hasamanim, came up and said, I'm done. No, this is not happening any further. We will not be run out. We will not be killed. This is not happening. And what actually started the no was Matthew, or Matthew. He was the high priest, the Kohen Hagadol. And the Assyrian Greeks said, if you convert to the paganism, we won't kill you. And there were priests that, and to prove it, you had to slaughter a pig on the altar in the temple, which is of course a no-no. And the first priest that actually stepped up to do it, Matthew said no, ripped a spear from one of the Greeks and pushed it through him. I'll kill the next one too. And of course, he's now hightailing it out of the temple because he's got the Assyrian Greeks on his tail. Okay? He and his sons follow: Simon, Judah, Eleazar, John, and Jonathan. Okay? This is Hebrew. Shimon, Yehuda, Eleazar, Yochanan, and Yonatan. Now, if you'll notice, it's Yehuda ha-Maccabee. Okay? Maccabee means hammer. He was a blacksmith. He was like a lot of blacksmiths, he would build. Okay? Eventually, Matthew dies. And there are all the last vestiges of those that wanted to remain Jewish are literally run out of town. And they're hiding in the hills. And the Greeks are hunting them down. And what they started doing was attacking the camps on the Sabbath. Because even then the Jews would not fight back. Because it was the Sabbath. And they said, no, we're done with this. We won't attack, but we will defend. And I don't care if it's the Sabbath or not. So this is one of the first instances historically also of guerrilla warfare. You know, hiding in trees and, you know, mounds and ghillie suits, you know, to hide in the brush. Yeah. And they started taking back. And 300 of them, 300 Jews, basically wiped out the Assyrian Greek army, numbering in the tens of thousands. 300 versus tens of thousands. Yeah. And they then became referred to as the Maccabees, after the leader, Judah ha-Maccabee. Judah the hammer. Okay? So, they eventually take back the land, then they take back the mount, and then the temple. And they get in and they find it destroyed. They find it a lot of obscene things, you know, pigs on the altar, evidence of inappropriate sexual activity, just the whole thing. It's a mess. It's a mess. So they decide to rededicate the temple. They melted down the menorahs and all of the tableware and all of the whatnots. They melted it down because, of course, fire is purifying. Okay? So they melt it all down and they remake everything. They burned the wood. They remade everything. When they got done with that, the menorah, there's actually two, I believe, if I'm correct, in the temple. There are two of these made of gold. They stand, I think it's 7 or 8 feet. 7 branched menorahs that are supposed to stay lit at all times. God's eternal presence. They can only find enough oil to light it for one day. And they said, well, one day is better than none. So they lit them. They discovered that they had all the makings to make more oil, but it takes roughly 8 days to make more oil. The miracle is that the one barrel that should have lasted 24 hours lasted 8 days. So the legend is that because it lasted 8 days, that then we celebrate those 8 days this time of year, the rededication and the festival of lights, because it's the menorah. So this is a menorah. It has how many branches? 7. This is actually my very first eBay bidding purchase. It is 18 years old. And it's been through the ringer, as you can see, because, you know, like, he is not stuck no more. Okay, this is also a menorah, but it's a special one. Because of what?
Because
It has 9 actually, but yes. For the 8 days plus the servant candle. Which one do you think is the servant candle?
is it the giraffe?
It is the giraffe on this one. You are right. So, they are both menorahs, right? Because they are candle stands, candelabras. But just like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. All Hanukkahs are menorahs, but not all menorahs are Hanukkahs. Okay? Because that's a difference. And oh, by the way, just to make everybody know that I am not the be-all, end-all and know everything, I did not learn that until about a decade ago. So I learned stuff too. Okay? That it's actually called a Hanukkah. I learned that about a decade ago in Italy, of all places. So, yes. So this is a Hanukkah. And does anyone want to take a guess as to what the theme in my nursery was? Noah's Ark. Hence, the Hanukkah of Noah's Ark. But they come in all shapes and sizes. As you will recall from last year, you all got one that looked like this. You right?
That's it.
Now I also have one that's very similar to this. Matches my, all good. It matches my candlestick set over there with the blue glass. Whoops, see, and there went another one. And you know what, Isaiah, you can help me out here. Tell me, which one over here is the servant candle? Nope. Yes, why? Why is it different?
Because it is higher than all the others.
Correct. So, in order to tell which one is the servant candle or the shamash, it will be separated in some way. Okay? So, in this one, I'll show the camera up here too. There's a little bit of extra height right here. Can you guys see that? Okay? So there's a little extra height here to show you what's the difference. And the way this gets lit is you only put a match to the shamash, the servant candle. And then you use it to light the rest. Okay? So just keep in mind some of that, those details, okay? We only light one with a match, and the rest come from this, okay? We light, or we put the candlesticks in from right to left, because that is how Hebrew is read. But we light them from left to right. And then you take this and you put it in the window so that everybody can see. What Christmas tradition does that sound like to y'all?
Christmas tree.
Not the Christmas tree.
A little candle
In the window. It symbolizes that guests are welcome. But it started with the Hanukkah. So there's a Christmas tradition that started with the Jews. That's just one. It being the 25th of December, that's two. Because the Feast of Lights, the dedication, starts on the 25th of Kislev. That's where they got the number from. Okay? So, this is supposed to represent the Western Wall, or the Wailing Wall. It's the only part of the Temple Mount that's survived, and or it still survives till today. Now the Dome of the Rock sits on top, where supposedly Muhammad rose up to heaven. It's in the control of the Muslims right now. The Wailing Wall, however, is not. And of course, there's a fight. Of course. So, let me put this down before. I have One, it protects your table from the dripping wax, okay? Two, it also has all the prayers on it. Transliterated and translated. So you can say the prayers in Hebrew, however bad it may be, for the nuts. Like I say, cheat sheet. Now, menorahs can be bought as candles, with candles in them, with oil in them. They can be electric. So you just screw them in the bulb, or you press the button. Like that really cool little moose over here. He's my mitzvah moose. We also have a mensch on the bench. Instead of an elf on the shelf, we have a mensch on the bench. But anyway, my little moose here, his candles light up. Oh. You see it? Isn't that cute? Just one of those things. My mitzvah moose. Anyway, all right, so the dreidel. Ha! Dreidel, 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 and make another play. When it's right and ready, together we shall play. That's me. All right, so dreidel. Remember I said that we kind of went over this. Enlightenment, right? Gold, it's perfection. A kosher Hanukkah requires that the candles are straight and the shamash is separated. Yes?
If it was supposed to be 8 days celebration or whatever, and you have a menorah that only has 7 holes, how do we do that then?
You don't.
Okay, because I want a menorah.
So a
I think
menorah is
that
like
is
every
so
day. Yeah.
Pretty though.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
You know, like.
That's an everyday
how do
thing.
You just have it out.
Mm-hmm. The only time I ever bring out the Hanukkah is for Hanukkah.
And that's the one that you light just like.
With the 9 branches.
Okay.
But your menorah is an everyday thing. That was the thing that was stayed lit in the tabernacle and in the temple at all times. All 7 branches stayed lit. That was one particular priest's job.
But that's not what you see like in people's windows, right?
No.
It's Hanukkahs you're seeing in the windows?
In a Jewish family, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a Hanukkah.
Never knew that.
Yeah. But the candle, like I said, that candle thing in the window starts with a Hanukkah, but it's gone throughout, become a standard symbol. Sort of like the lawn jockey was a sign for the Underground Railroad.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, so if that lawn jockey was out at that residence, you knew they were part of the Underground Railroad. Safe place to stop. Okay. With the black face. Yep. Yep. All right, so studying Torah, of course, being Jewish was illegal, but gambling sure wasn't. So they used a toy to gamble, to hide that they were actually studying Torah, gathering to study. So the dreidel has 4 letters on it. Okay, Nicht, Ganz, Hab, and Pei, or Stel, depending on where you're from. Standing for Nes Gadol Haya Sham, or a great miracle happened there. Okay, so dreidels made and played outside Israel have a shtel. It happened there. Nes Gadol Haya Po, a great miracle happened here. So if you're playing dreidel or you buy one from Israel, it's going to have a po, not a shtel. Okay? Not a shin. All right? So when you're playing it, though, it's very simple. Okay? Shin means to share. Sounds easy, right? So you put a coin in and you spin, and what comes up is what you do. Shin means you share. Hab or hey means you get half. gimme gives all, and none does what?
You get nothing.
You get none. Simple, right? None. So, anyway, and you basically play, you ante up, and the next person spins the dreidel, and you go in circle until somebody has all the gelt, or the chocolate coins, and then you can divvy them up, back up again and play some more, or not, whatever, you know? That's the game. But this is what they used to hide that they were gathering. It looked like they were gambling, but they weren't. They were actually studying the Bible with this. So remember I said it was mentioned in the Bible, in John 10:22. Now, it's going to take a little or a lot, depending on. But my belief is that this is when Mary found out she was pregnant. And she goes to Elizabeth, and John jumps in her womb, right? Recognizing Messiah. The reason it all works, is the math works, is the way it does, is because we know that Zechariah served in the temple in either June or July, where he was visited by the angel and made mute until, okay? So we find out about that, and 6 months later, from that point, Mary visits Elizabeth in Jerusalem. So Elizabeth is 6 months pregnant, and if Mary is finding out then that she's pregnant, 9 months, then puts the birth of Messiah in September timeframe for the Day of Atonement and the Jewish New Year. But it makes sense. The Hanukkah, the dedicating, the festival of lights, the shamash, the servant candle, which is lit by the match, but then lights all the others, the same way Messiah is the light of the world, and then we carry his light. So it mirrors very, very well. If you're willing to go on the path with me. I could be wrong. Just being clear. So Hanukkah, Chumash is the servant candle. Shamash or Chumash, depends on who you're talking to. Shiva is, I don't know why I have Shiva on there, but that's morning. They said for 7 days. And then dreidel. So some of your new vocabulary. All right, so in honor of tonight, we have a big party, and we eat food fried in oil. Okay? So I have back there, hopefully they're not too cold, but I have back there popcorn chicken and tater tots, because latkes in particular are very popular at this time, or also known as hash browns. I have applesauce, to which it is very popular to eat said latkes, or sour cream, and I have plain or garlic, whichever is your choice, so you can try all of that. But the other thing that is traditional is this time is a jelly donut. So you have fresh jelly donuts in the back too. So, any questions? Yes.
Okay. You take the servant candle and light the first candle.
Correct.
Now, do you blow that candle out or just let it burn?
Let it burn. You let it burn. So, this is the one that you will have. Alright, so this is the one that I'm going to give you tonight. Okay? Your shamash is actually up here. Completely separate and elevated, right? So, let's just say that this is night number 1. So, it's night number 1. So, this one is in your, there's your shamash, and then put the candle in on the right-hand side. You light this one with the match, and then this one lights that one, and then they burn completely out together. It'll only take about 30 minutes. That's how big those candles are, about 30 minutes. Okay? Night number 2, you put in a fresh candle. For night 1, and now night 2.
Okay.
And then you have a third candle as your servant candle, which you light with the match. Then take it and light the other 2 candles from left to right this time. And then it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it if you screw it up. It's all good. All right? But then you let them burn. Let them burn out. There are enough candles in the box, 44, for you to light like that and let burn completely through for every single night. So on the first night, you will have 2 lit candles. On the second night, you will have 3. On the third night, you will have 4. Okay? So there are enough candles in your box for you to light every night, all the candles that you're supposed to. So, that being said, I have a gift for everybody. And I will tell you what else is in there, because it's not just a Hanukkah. And
What night do we start lighting our stuff?
the night you start is the 18th.
December 18th?
December 18th, which is a Sunday. That night, because remember, we start days the sundown before. So on some of your calendars, some of them will say Shabbat day number, Hanukkah day number 1. Okay? Or it may just say Hanukkah starts. Okay? Some calendars are really good and they will call it Erev. E-R-E-V.
That was my question.
Erev means the night before, but it's not really the night before. That's when you're supposed to do it. It's like Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
Erev Eve. Okay? So, on the night, on Sunday, yours says the 19th, right?
Mine says the 19th.
Okay, that's right. But remember, Hebrew calendars start the night before.
Even before.
So we start our candle deal
On the 18th.
Okay, it's in my phone.
On the 18th. So, you will light your first candle.
I'm going to text you and say
I'll
left to
remind you.
right or right to left.
There you go. On the first night, now yours won't look exactly like this, but on the first night, on Sunday the 18th, you will light your first candle. Okay? So you will light, like I said, so everyone's got a box of candles in there that will last the whole time, and a Hanukkah. What else you have in there is a mezuzah.
Last year we got the dreidel.
Last year you got a mug with a bookmark.
I got a dreidel. because
Yeah, you
I
got
had
dreidel
a
too,
on
but-
my calendar.
Yeah, you got a dreidel too,
Oh,
but
yeah, and a
so
coffee
this
cup.
year you get a mezuzah. And if you remember one of our blessings tonight is to write them. They should be as a reminder on the doorposts of your gates and on your house. That is what this is. And what you have written on it in Hebrew is the Shema, which we also said tonight. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. That's what's written on your mezuzah. There is a blessing for you to put it up, and it's in English on the back. Okay? So, traditional mezuzahs, not this one, but traditional mezuzah, no, it is there, it's inside. Okay, you can actually open this up and put a prayer or a blessing for the house. That's what it actually has. In Israel, on Jewish homes, there's a blessing in there. There's actual scripture in here, okay? Where they put it in there. So you can put your own, okay? But you put this on the door frame of your house. It is typically done on the right-hand side and facing into the house, okay? And to the inside.
The front door, but on the inside?
No, on the front door, on the outside of the house, but facing in. So like on this door here, it would be placed out here,
Oh.
but faced this way,
Oh.
at a slight angle.
Outside.
Not here, but like this.
At an angle?
Not like this, like this.
So it's pointing towards the front.
Points into the house. So not like this, into the house. The top of it goes into the house.
Okay.
All right? And what you do is if you put it up on your house or you see it it on somebody else's house, what you're supposed to do when you go to the door is you just touch it and then you kiss your hand because you're bringing the word of God to your lips. That's what that is. But, and you shall tie them as, you shall teach them to your children thoroughly, and you shall tie them as reminders upon your hands and frontlets between your eyes. That's what this is. So, and it got here in time. Yeah, what you hear rattling in there are your nails to put it on your door.
On the outside of the home.
On the outside of the home, on the outside of their home, but the top towards the inside.
And this is like all year round thing, right?
Yep, that goes up and stays. It's like Catholics will write numbers and whatnot. It has significance and it talks about it. But the Catholic, they come around and ask when you pray a blessing. Same idea. Guess where they got it from?
Jewish.
Guess where they got it from? Okay? So that is what it means. That's what it is. It's a blessing over the house and the people in it. And what's written on it is the watchword of Israel, the Shema, or also known as Numbers. This is coming from Numbers 6, the V'ahavta, and you shall. And the Shema is also in Numbers. I believe it's Numbers. But anyway, both very scriptural. So happy Hanukkah to everybody.
Thank you.
But yes, and yeah, I'll help you when it comes time. I'll remind you. Which way do you like your candles? Which way do you like your candles? And yes, last year I gave you a dreidel and a mug, and this year you get a mezuzah and another Hanukkah. So there are some houses, or there are some people's traditions that every person in the house has their own Hanukkah. So there are very glowing, big glowing tables in some houses because everybody's got their own. Lots of candles going on.
Okay. So now,
All right, next question.
next question. Now, this is something that comes from some studying I've been doing here over the last month. Is this the same for the Ashkenazi Jew and the Sephardic? Is this the same? Do they have the same tradition, the
Yes.
same, follow the same?
Yes. So Ashkenazi, just to explain that part, Ashkenazi Jew refers to an Eastern European Jew. So once they left Israel and the Middle East, they settled in Poland, Romania, Russia, Germany even. Sephardic Jews all settled in, for the most part, on the Iberian Peninsula or Spain. Then they got kicked out and got to go to Italy. But those are Sephardic Jews. That's the difference.
Yeah, so, like I said, I've been doing some digging because of some controversial statements that's been in the news lately. And me
How did the Ashkenazi Sephardic come from that then?
because
Yay.
yay.
We were not mentioning,
Because of yay.
we know why, I'm just saying why the cultural difference.
It's cultural difference because I was looking at the regions of the different diaspora, diaspora, different regions that people settle in, and I found out about the Khazars and Khazarian and how they literally converted the entire nation to Talmudic Judaism before they were conquered by the Russians, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I went,
You're using some big words.
yeah.
So
yeah.
Talmudic refers to Talmud, or basically concordance. Talmudic is a bunch of rabbis who wrote down the oral law.
And the commentaries and things of that nature.
It's also referred to as rabbinic. So a bunch of men who decide what it means, not scriptural. And yes, the diaspora is the disbursement. So, like he said, where once we were kicked out of Israel, where everybody went. There's a huge group in Ethiopia. There's a huge, like I said, so you got Eastern European, you've got the Sephardic, so you've got the Italian, Spanish, Moorish, you have Ethiopians. Now, because of World War II, there's a ton of Japanese Jews. Yes, there was a Japanese ambassador that actually forged over 3,000 passports to save Jewish people from Germany. And then they took families, they took spouses and wives, you know, had families, and so now there's a very large contingent of Japanese Jews. So yeah, it's everywhere. But yes, I knew who brought it up, Michael. And he wasn't the other one, it was a basketball player too.
And see, what the thing about with what the basketball player did, all he did was put a tweet out to concerning that documentary that he had seen. And a lot of people took offense to it because of the title of the documentary. And so they started bashing him for putting it out there. And he was like,
Yeah.
I ain't did nothing but watch the movie and say.
I'll comment on the dinner guest of another unmentionable person. I will not comment on that particular because I'm not sure of the ins and outs for sure on that. But the other two gentlemen, and I use that term lightly, are unmentionable in my opinion. All right, more questions. Did you both have the same one? Or
You answer one.
okay.
You got a question?
You had a question.
So the Hanukkah, so
The Hanukkah.
yeah, so you can either light it from left to right or right to left.
No, you light it left to right, but you put the candles in right to left. Correct.
So you gotta keep it straight.
You gotta keep it straight. You put the candles in the way Hebrew is read, but you light it the other way. Maybe that's easier to follow or remember, at least one side. If you remember that Hebrew is read from right to left, that's the way the candles go in, and then you light it backwards.
Okay, I got that. I can remember that.
So one, you can think of it this way: 1 to A, and then you can do 8 to 1.
There you go. That'll work. Yes, so he's been playing with a little, like, you've seen me bring them out before, but I have little toys for all the holidays. So there's my little soft dreidel that, of course, is not going to hurt anybody. And the candles actually have on them both the numbers and, like, this says Shamash. So you know that it goes in that one, you know. And then all the other candles have numbers on them, so you know which way they go. But yeah, they're nice and soft, so little babies stay occupied. Occupado. Any other questions? No? No more? What? Mm-hmm. Yes, please eat. There's popcorn chicken. Like I said, there's popcorn chicken and whatnot in the back. Yes, please, please, please eat. I'm checking to see if Kelly, because Kelly's making. Oh, Kelly says hi, Daniel.
Hello.
And she says that Ethiopian Jews moved to Israel.
Some of them did.
Some of them did. Okay, so she's talking about the order of the candles. Just make sure that the only one that you light with the match is the shamash. If you screw the rest of it up, it don't matter. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. Nope, I think that's everything. Alright. Alright, I'm going to terminate my live cast because that's the end of that part. And thank you for coming.